Power has rules, but not the rules you were taught, not the soft, polite, civilized rules people pretend to follow. The real rules, the rules that shape leaders, kings, and dangerous men, are forbidden for a reason, because once you learn them, you stop being easy to manipulate. You stop being predictable. You stop being controlled. You begin to move differently, think differently, see the world differently. You become sovereign. And a sovereign man is the one thing society fears the most. Machiavelli warned rulers of this truth. If you wish to command, you must learn what others fear to admit. Most people live by illusions, by social scripts, by the comfort of believing everyone is good. But power does not grow in comfort. It grows in clarity, in discipline, in silence, in the shadows where most men fear to look. Today we break the veil. Today we uncover the 9 forbidden rules of power, rules only the dangerous understand. Or if you're listening to this, it means you're tired of being shaped by others. You're ready to shape your own life. Let's begin. The first forbidden rule of power is simple. Never reveal the full extent of your strength. Weak men expose everything. Their thoughts, their plans, their emotions, their abilities. They think honesty makes them noble. It makes them vulnerable. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise man reveals his strength by degree, never all at once." People must never know how much you can endure, what you are truly capable of, what your limits are, how far you can go. Because the moment they know your full power, they prepare for it. They calculate around it. They build resistance against it. Full transparency kills mystique. Mystique kills influence. A powerful man is always partially hidden. Not deceptive, simply unreadable. He shows enough strength to command respect, but never enough to be understood completely. Some of your power must remain unseen, unmeasured, unpredictable, because the unknown intimidates far more than the known. The second forbidden rule: if you cannot control your reactions, someone else will control you. You cannot be powerful if people can provoke you, manipulate you, offend you, or trigger you. The man who reacts first loses first. The man who reacts emotionally is owned by the one who caused the emotion. This is why Machiavelli taught, he who controls himself cannot be controlled by others. Emotional control is not coldness, it is dominance. When you stay calm, people reveal their motives, their fears, their weaknesses. Your silence exposes their insecurity. Your stillness exposes their instability. And your lack of emotional chaos makes you someone who cannot be played. A dangerous man is not dangerous because he is violent. He is dangerous because he is unmoved. Your calm becomes a form of intimidation. Your restraint becomes a form of leverage. Your steadiness becomes a form of power. This is why the first thing manipulators test is your ability to stay composed. If you fail that test, you fail every test that comes after. Power doesn't collapse because of enemies. Power collapses because of open doors. Machiavelli warned in The Prince, men ruin themselves by allowing too much liberty to others. This is the heart of the second forbidden rule. Never let anyone have full access to you, no exceptions. Not friends, not lovers, not business partners, not even family. Access is the purest form of power, because whoever controls access to you controls your time, your energy, your peace, and eventually, your destiny. Most men give access too easily. They let people drain their focus, their clarity, their ambition. And silently, their life becomes managed by everyone but themselves. Machiavelli understood this deeply. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he keeps around him. Meaning, if chaotic people can reach you, your life becomes chaotic. If weak people reach you, they infect you with weakness. If emotional people reach you, they trigger you into emotional living. Your access points determine your fate. The dangerous truth: every person is either a gatekeeper or a gatecrasher. Gatekeepers protect your focus. Gatecrashers destroy it. Whoever can reach you any time owns a part of you that is unacceptable for a man pursuing power. So what does the forbidden rule demand? Lower your availability, raise your standards, reduce your openness, control who enters your mental territory, because your attention is the currency of your life. When people take it, they take your future, and nothing steals power faster than being reachable by everyone. Machiavelli would call this the ruin of princes. Modern translation: men who are always accessible become men who are always controlled. Power requires distance. Authority requires scarcity. Dominance requires selective access. You must become a man who is not easy to reach and impossible to influence, not by coldness, but by strategy. This rule alone can change your entire life. The moment you decide, "I choose who reaches me," is the moment you stop being a follower and start becoming a ruler. Weak men exhaust themselves in meaningless battles. Powerful men choose their wars with surgical precision. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince who wastes his strength on small matters loses the strength needed for great ones." This is the third forbidden rule. Never fight battles that do not increase your power. Most men lose their lives not because they are weak, but because they fight for things that do not matter. They defend their ego. They argue with fools. They chase validation. They try to prove themselves to people who will never respect them. This is how men die without ever living. Machiavelli understood that every battle has a cost: time, energy, reputation, attention, emotional stability. If a battle does not bring you more influence, more respect, more leverage, more clarity, more strategic advantage, then it is not a battle. It is a trap. A trap designed to drain you and distract you from your true rise. The brutal truth: most conflicts are invitations to lose. Someone insults you. Someone challenges you. Someone provokes you. The average man reacts. The powerful man evaluates. Machiavelli taught, never respond to an injury in a way that harms you more than your enemy. Meaning, if reacting puts you in a worse position, you do not react, you choose silence, distance, or strategy. Because winning is not about pride. Winning is about position. Power is not found in reaction. Power is found in direction. You must ask one question before every conflict. Does this move me closer to my goals, or does it pull me away from them? If it pulls you away, you walk past it without a word. This is not weakness. This is dominance. The man who controls his reactions controls the battlefield. The man who is triggered is already defeated. The world is full of pointless wars, arguments, gossip, petty offenses, emotional chaos. Let other men drown in these. You rise above them. Your life is your empire. Your focus is your army. Your time is your weapon. Do not waste them on battles that do not build your throne. Rule 4. Keep your true intentions hidden until it's too late to stop you. If people know what you want, they can block you. If they know what you plan, they can sabotage you. If they know where you're going, they can stand in your way. This is why Machiavelli wrote, "He who reveals his intentions exposes himself to ruin," and so the fourth forbidden rule of power is conceal your true intentions until action becomes unstoppable. Not because deception is fun, not because hiding is interesting, but because power requires asymmetry. You must know more than others. They must know less than you. He who controls the information controls the field. Because the deepest truth of human nature is this: people fear what they cannot predict. People attack what they cannot understand. People envy what they cannot become. If you reveal your ambitions too early, you become a target. If you reveal your plans too openly, you become vulnerable. This is why powerful men are quiet, not shy, strategic. Your silence is your shield. Your unpredictability is your weapon. A man who shows everything he wants is a man who can be manipulated by everyone. A man who hides his intentions moves freely, without resistance. Machiavelli admired rulers who spoke like they meant nothing, but acted like they meant everything. He wrote, "A wise ruler should appear simple and harmless, while concealing a mind of great cunning." This wasn't cynicism, this was survival. The world respects results, not forecasts. So act like this. Say little, reveal nothing, move quietly, strike decisively, announce only victories. When you operate in silence, people can't interfere, can't slow you down, can't poison your progress. They only see the outcome, and by then, it's too late for them to stop you. Rule 5. Do not allow people to get comfortable. Disrespecting you, power dies the moment disrespect becomes normal. A single act of disrespect is a warning. Repeated disrespect is a decision. Tolerated disrespect is a self-inflicted downfall. Machiavelli wrote, "Men should either be treated generously or destroyed, for they take revenge for small injuries, but cannot do so for grave ones." The meaning is brutal. If you let people disrespect you once, they will do it again and again until it becomes your identity. This is the 5th forbidden rule. Do not allow anyone to get comfortable disrespecting you, not your friends, not your partner, not your boss, not strangers, not yourself. Power is not loud. Power is not angry. Power is not emotional. Real power is boundaries enforced without negotiation. Disrespect happens in small doses first. A joke disguised as humor, a subtle dismissal of your ideas, a delay in replying, a tone of voice that pierces instead of speaks, a look that evaluates instead of respects. Weak men ignore the signs. Powerful men act at the first signal. Because disrespect is like a crack in a dam. If you don't seal it immediately, the entire structure collapses. Machiavelli studied rulers who lost authority and found one pattern. They tolerated small acts of irreverence until the kingdom of respect rotted from within. This rule is not about rage, it's about calibration. You don't explode, you don't beg, you don't negotiate. You simply enforce reality. You remove access, you reduce contact. You make distance your response. You let absence speak louder than confrontation. You show that you can walk away instantly because nothing commands respect more than a man who does not fear losing people. People respect what they can lose. People disrespect what they presume is permanent. This is why you must be willing to disappear, to protect your dignity, your energy, your inner equilibrium. The man who enforces boundaries doesn't lose people. He filters them. Machiavelli would call this the purification of your circle. And a purified circle is the birthplace of unshakable power. Rule 6, never show your full strength until the moment of impact. A lion that shows its claws too early invites the hunt. A wolf that bares its fangs too soon alerts the herd. A man who reveals his full strength prematurely arms his enemies with information. This is why Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must learn to deceive to protect his power." Not because deception is evil, but because timing determines victory. This is the sixth forbidden rule. Never show your full strength until the exact moment you strike. Strength revealed too early invites resistance. Strength revealed too openly invites sabotage. Strength revealed too generously invites exploitation. But strength revealed at the perfect moment decides everything. Power is not in strength. Power is in surprise. If people know the extent of your abilities, they prepare, they defend, they unite against you. If they guess, if they suspect, if they wonder, they remain unbalanced. And in uncertainty lies control. Machiavelli admired rulers who were underestimated until the moment they acted. He wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few feel what you are." Meaning, let them see the mask, hide the machinery. Let them see the calm, hide the fire. Let them think you are harmless, hide the precision of your ambition. Because when the moment comes and you unleash your full strength, they will not be ready. The most powerful men in history won not by force, but by timing. A single moment of overwhelming, decisive action can achieve more than 1,000 days of effort. The world is built on momentum shifts, tiny windows where everything can be decided by a man who moves with absolute certainty, while everyone else is still processing reality. To reach that moment, you must stay silent while you build, stay calm while you prepare, stay invisible while you rise, stay underestimated while you sharpen your weapons. And when the opportunity appears, you strike with such precision that resistance becomes impossible. Machiavelli called this the art of calculated ferocity. Strength is not something you show. Strength is something you unleash when the world least expects it. Rule 7. Control what people feel, not what they think. You cannot control the thoughts of men. Thoughts are wild, private, unpredictable. But emotions can be guided, triggered, steered, manipulated, weaponized. And Machiavelli wrote plainly, "Men are moved by two principal passions, fear and hope." He understood something the average man never sees. People act on emotion first and justify with logic later. This is the seventh forbidden rule. Control what people feel, and their thoughts will follow. This is not cruelty. This is psychology. This is not manipulation. This is strategy, because the most powerful men in history did not win with facts. They won with emotion. Logic is slow. Emotion is instant. Logic makes people think. Emotion makes people move. Logic builds opinions. Emotion builds loyalty or fear. Logic can be debated. Emotion cannot. This is why Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Because fear is an emotion that demands action. Love is an emotion that requests it. Both can be used if you understand the machinery beneath them. Every interaction is emotional, even the logical ones. A calm tone can pacify. A pause can intimidate. A silence can unsettle. A direct gaze can dominate. A refusal can create scarcity. A boundary can create respect. A delayed reply can build anticipation. These are not actions. These are emotional adjustments that rewrite the power dynamic in real time. Men who only use logic lose to men who understand emotion, because emotion bypasses defenses, disarms resistance, and creates influence without force. Control the emotional climate, and you control the outcome. Ask yourself, What do people feel in your presence? Stability, chaos, uncertainty, respect, fear, curiosity, inferiority. You cannot afford to leave that to chance. Weak men focus on appearing correct. Powerful men focus on creating atmosphere. Atmosphere is invisible, but it shapes everything. How people speak to you, how they behave around you, what they reveal to you, what they hide from you, what they dare or do not dare to attempt. This is the architecture of dominance. Machiavelli would call it ruling the unseen part of men. If you master emotions, you master decisions. If you master decisions, you master actions. If you master actions, you master outcomes. Control the atmosphere, and you control the room. Control the room, and the crown is inevitable. Rule 8. Never become dependent on the goodwill of others. There is no faster way to lose power than to depend on the kindness of others. Because goodwill is not a currency, it cannot be stored, it cannot be guaranteed, it cannot be trusted. Machiavelli wrote with brutal clarity, "A wise man must build his foundations on his own strength, not on the goodwill of others." This is the 8th forbidden rule. Never let your stability rely on someone else's generosity. Goodwill is emotional, fickle, fragile, temporary. It disappears the moment. People get bored, people get jealous, people get offended. People see no benefit in helping you, or people simply change their minds. Goodwill is a rope that snaps right when you lean on it the most. Dependence is the birthplace of weakness. Dependence on approval, dependence on support, dependence on validation, dependence on someone returning a favor, dependence on someone remembering your loyalty. Weak men say, "I hope they help me." Powerful men say, "I am not at the mercy of anyone." Because Machiavelli observed something eternal. People support you only while it benefits them, not a moment longer. They don't betray you because they are evil. They betray you because the incentive changes. Goodwill cannot compete with self-interest. Never mistake friendliness for loyalty. A person can be kind today and indifferent tomorrow. A person can praise you today and discard you tomorrow. A person can promise you everything while preparing to offer you nothing. That is why Machiavelli wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, false. They abandon you in times of adversity unless you have built a fortress of your own strength." Not a physical fortress, a psychological one, a strategic one, a financial one, a personal one. A fortress where nothing depends on luck or the goodwill of others. Your power must come from what you control: your discipline, your intelligence, your anonymity, your skills, your independence, your ability to walk away, your refusal to beg, your silence when others talk, your decisiveness when others hesitate. A man who builds his life on his own foundation cannot be threatened, cannot be deceived, cannot be controlled. He stands alone. Not because he is isolated, but because he is sovereign. Goodwill should be appreciated, but never relied upon. Respect should be welcomed, but never depended on. Help should be accepted, but never expected. This is the architecture of true power. Nothing essential in your life should be in someone else's hands. Rule 9. Do not seek peace. Seek position. Machiavelli edition, the final rule. Most men spend their lives searching for peace. Peace in relationships. Peace in their job. Peace with the world. Peace within themselves. But Machiavelli understood something darker, something truer. Peace is not given. Peace is taken. And the only way to take peace is through position, not comfort. This is the 9th forbidden rule. Do not seek peace, seek position. because position creates peace. Peace without power is just vulnerability wearing a mask. Peace without strength is just surrender with pretty words. Peace without leverage is an illusion the weak cling to so they can sleep at night. Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler has no certainty except the strength of his position, not his intentions, not his goodness, not his morality, not his kindness, not his dreams, his position. Because position determines everything: how people treat you, how people talk to you, how people behave around you, what people dare to ask of you, what people fear doing to you, and what they would never risk attempting. Good men collapse because they believe the world respects fairness. Powerful men rise because they understand the world respects position. A strong position makes enemies cautious. A weak position makes allies careless. When you are strong, people measure their words. People choose their tone. People hesitate before crossing a line. People wait for your response. People fear disappointing you. People adapt to your presence. When you are weak, people raise their voice. People take advantage. People become unpredictable. People disrespect boundaries. People forget loyalty. People ignore consequences. Machiavelli knew that human nature never changes. People do not respond to kindness. They respond to leverage. People do not respond to intentions. They respond to consequences. People do not respond to goodness. They respond to strength. Position determines all of this. Your entire life is built on the position you hold. Your financial position, your emotional position, your psychological position, your social position, your strategic position. If any of these areas are weak, you will be exploited, manipulated, ignored, dismissed, used, or destroyed. Not because you are evil, not because people are evil, but because this is the nature of power. Machiavelli didn't judge it. He simply described it. And now you must learn to use it. Improve your skills, strengthen your mind, build financial independence, remove weak people from your life, train your composure, control your reactions, stay unpredictable, stay selective, stay disciplined, and never beg for peace, because the man who seeks peace becomes dependent, but the man who seeks position becomes untouchable. The 9 forbidden rules of power are not meant to make you cruel. They are meant to make you sovereign. You do not follow these rules to harm others. You follow them so others cannot harm you. You do not apply them to dominate the world. You apply them so the world cannot dominate you. Machiavelli understood the truth. Power is the only real shield a man has. Not muscles, not wealth, not charm, not social circles, not reputation. Power, internal, strategic, self-generated, unbreakable. Because a man with power chooses his life, a man without power endures it. Final words. You don't rise by accident. You rise by design. You don't become powerful by hoping. You become powerful by understanding. You don't become untouchable by luck. You become untouchable by rule. The forbidden rules. The ones no one teaches. The ones only the strong discover. Now you have them. Use them wisely. Use them quietly. Use them relentlessly. And remember the final Machiavellian truth. Power belongs to those who dare to take what others fear to see.